Hi guys, my name is Garrett. I'm back with another YouTube video. Oh gosh, I could yell. I'm not going to yell. One of the things I'm particularly good at, or I like to think that I'm good at, is organization. I'd say that's probably the main thing that helped me get through school. So I've been doing a lot of writing, basically just like writing and typing. It's like write down my thoughts, because whenever I'm thinking my thoughts, I feel like they just are in one ear, out the other ear, then gone. If I don't write them down, then I don't really have them like saved basically. But also I can go back and view them so I have an idea of like what my goals are, what I should be doing, what I'm trying to do. I haven't lifted since Tuesday. Today is Saturday, and that is the longest break I've taken from lifting in quite a long time. Today, we're going to be going to hit back and biceps. We're going to be doing rows, we're going to be doing pull downs, and then once the back is sufficiently fatigued, we're going to go on to hypertrophy work, which could be a number of different things. For hypertrophy, particularly on the back, I like doing pullovers and some modified shrugs on the cable machine. I used to go really heavy doing shrugs, just like loading up plates on a bar and just doing heavy shrugs that way. But I come to realize that my traps started growing more when I was doing cables, going a little bit lighter. There's a lot of different ways to train. I don't think there's one right way to train. And for biceps, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff, right? We're going to fatigue and break down the muscle doing basic compound movements. And everybody thinks like compound movements are just like bench, squat, deadlift, which are three pretty basic compound movements. But the way that I think about it is like each muscle group has its own compound movement, at least like 1 to 3, okay? So like rather than the big three, squat, bench, deadlift, let's just go on to arms for a second. Let's talk about biceps, okay? So the compound movements that I think of would be hammer strength curls, whether that be with dumbbells. I guess hammer strength has to be with dumbbells, but like regular curls, you could do barbell or you could do dumbbell. So triceps, for example, skull crushers or tricep pushdowns. For shoulders, shoulder press, multiple different ways to do that. I'd say all of them are pretty compound. But when I say compound movement, I'm really just thinking of like a basic movement in order to fatigue and break down the muscle. So whatever you deem that to be, right? That's what you're trying to achieve progressive overload on, or at least that's what I'm trying to do, okay? So we're doing back and biceps today. I already said what it's going to be. We're going to do rows, we're going to do pull downs, we're going to do some biceps, and then that's going to be it. I don't really have a plan going into the gym. I just have like a basic idea of what I'm going to go do. Moving into a new apartment, obviously I have to set up a new routine for myself, and that also kind of ties in with being organized, right? But the goal is to post anywhere between 3 and 5 YouTube videos per week, and I'm not sure if all of them are going to be lifting, but all of them are going to have something to do with changing your physique. And when I think of changing my physique, it comes down to 3 things, and I know I've mentioned them on here: exercise, nutrition, and recovery. So those 3 things are probably mainly what I'm going to be talking about. And then also just in terms of like my mindset real quick, and just like something I want to say is you have to understand that you're the only one that can change your body. Period, point blank. There's not a single other person in the world that's going to change your body for you. So just like accepting that, because I think enjoying your workouts is extremely important when it comes to like the longevity and the consistency of it. And I think a lot of people want to think like changing their body is a sprint rather than like accepting the fact of like the consistency aspect it takes to actually change their body. I feel like everybody wants to look for a shortcut or like go on a really hard diet or a really hard training program rather than trying to find the things that they enjoy. I'm going to eat a little bit of food. I'm going to eat a little bit more salmon, probably have an apple, a little bit of sugar before I go to the gym. And then we're going to mix that with some creatine and L-citrulline and hit the gym.
Ooh. 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 All right, I lied. That's probably not going to be the last set. For the first like 10 minutes of the workout, I'm going to be on this platform. Not going to lie, it feels great to be back in here after 4 days. And not to mention Saturday night, so nobody's here. I think we have a total of like maybe 12 people up here right now. During the week, it's usually about 100 people up here, so this is extremely nice. That's why I enjoy working out on the weekends. Ooh. Ooh. Do we want to start with rows or pull downs? Let's do 2 pull downs. That was a loud one. A little click clack action. All right, first set, 3 plates. I don't know how many sets we're gonna do, probably anywhere between like 3 and 6. Oh. Ooh. 3. Ooh. 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 Felt pretty light. I'm really not planning on going too heavy today. So we'll throw on a quarter and then possibly go to a 4th plate here in a little bit. Let's add the 4th plate. All right. One thing I want to try to explain, okay, is overloading the muscle. So when I'm doing 4 plates or I'm going a little bit heavier and I have a little bit of a swing to it, that's fine as long as I transfer the weight to where I want to be pulling. So like, I bet an easier example to explain would probably be biceps. When you're doing straight bar curls and you have a little bit of a swing to it, you know, that's fine. Probably not all of your reps should look like that. Like if you're transferring the weight onto your biceps and you're pulling, like the far majority are like as much as you can with your biceps, and I'd say it's fine. So that's gonna be the same thing here. Maybe a little bit more of a swing on the way down, but if I'm able to still get the full contraction and then control the weight on the way up, you're fine. Anywhere between 4 and 8 reps. Ooh. Ooh. See, that felt like my best set. Like, that felt the best. So we're gonna do 1 more, maybe 2 more here, and then call it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to throw on another quarter. One more thing I want to explain, going decently heavy, like I could do 4 reps extremely slow, real controlled, or I could go fast and get 12. So like figure out, you know, where you want to be and then the intensity you want to use. Shoot for 6. Shoot for 6 clean ones. We're gonna do 1 set, adding a quarter. I'd say, okay, so I'm probably more willing to do this on my second compound movement for the day. But, I mean, let's talk about some back off sets or some drop sets. So I'm doing 4 1/4. Honestly, I'll just turn this into a drop set. Rule for the drop set, can't get less reps after taking off the plate. So for this, I think I'm gonna start with 4. And every time I take a plate off, you gotta get at least 1 more rep than you previously did. Will I go all the way down to 1 plate? I'm not really sure. Probably not, just because this is my first compound movement and I still have some rows to go and I wanna be able to go heavy on those. So, you know, not trying to absolutely kill myself on this last set, just trying to get a good pump going. Minimum of 5. That was pretty hard. Would have liked to get a little bit further down on that last rep. That's all right. A little bit of a wider grip. Oh goodness. We're gonna be sore tomorrow, boys. This will be the last set. Mainly because 1 plate on this machine legit feels like nothing. Ooh. Oh, all right. That felt great. I feel good. What kind of rows do I want to do? This is probably the easiest handle to pull the most weight with. So we're gonna do a mixture of both of these. Probably gonna do 1 or 2 warm-up sets with this handle, 2 heavy sets, and then we'll go to a straight bar and finish decently light. 2 to 3 heavy sets with the stack, and then we'll do the straight bar for probably like 2 or 3 more light sets and pull a little bit higher. And when I'm going heavy, I'm really just pulling basically to my belly button, and then when I'm pulling higher, I want to work on more of my upper back. And I'm pulling more to like my chest line almost. And when I say chest line, just like right underneath the pec. Like when I'm pulling and I'm first coming back, I don't want to bring my chest or my stomach to the bar. I want to bring the bar to my stomach. So, you know, you got to find that like even balance, because obviously when you're pulling back, you're coming back with a little bit of momentum, but you don't, like when you're finishing the rep, you don't want to bring your body forward. Instead of doing 8, I'll probably try to do 2 more sets of 6. Get a different angle. See, like if I was to try to go to 8 there, I feel like I'd get halfway with the weight and then want to bring my stomach back to the bar. So purposely stop a little bit short of that. But a lot of people are into partials nowadays, and you know, not opposed to doing partials. All right, last set of 6. Yeah, that's pretty hard. Much harder to go heavier with this than that, but we're gonna go pretty light. Not that light. In between the heavy sets, probably taking 3 to 4 minutes in between. Now I'm moving on to this handle. More of just like a, I don't know, moving into the pump part of the workout. Anywhere between 8 and 16 reps. Minute break between these sets. Also, many ways you can use this bar, right? I like going on the far outside, but you can also bring it in or do underhand, one of the two, or one of the three. I might do some underhand. The only one that I don't really like with this is straight like that. I don't know why. I would just rather have my hands out wide. And then on these as well, since we're not going so heavy, we're going to be pulling higher. Whew. Probably could have controlled the eccentric a little bit better. As long as we're doing the exercises, we'll be fine. I think that's it for the rows. Now we're gonna do pullovers, cable shrugs. You can do these overhand or underhand. I'm gonna do these underhand first, mainly because I like to stretch a little bit better. But the squeeze isn't as good as comparison to overhand. Alright. I don't have anything. I don't have anything for shrugs. Psych. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we're not really going to be taking breaks. I switched it just because I didn't want to be switching the camera all the time and both of these were open. So we're going to do probably 3 more supersets and no breaks. We'll switch between overhand and underhand on the pullovers. And then we're also going to switch the angle on the cable or on the shrugs. And for these, just like every back movement, you want to finish with your chest up. When you're doing hypertrophy work, no less than 8 reps. I'd probably say, I don't know, I want to say no more than 20, but you know, there's been times I've done more than 20, so. switch it up a little bit. Just focus on keeping your arms straight while you're pulling. And realistically, I need to go a little bit lighter. Mainly because I have nothing to press off of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right there though. Obviously a little bit of bend in the elbows, but just like focus on pulling with your traps. So same thing here, all right? Just keep your arms straight. That's gonna be it for back. One of my favorite ways to finish basically any workout is going back to like a basic compound movement, going a little bit lighter, and then just focusing, going like slow and controlled. Woo. 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 Another thing I want to emphasize when you're at the gym, I don't mean to sound like Joey Swole. I know he's a bit, I mean, nothing wrong sounding like him, but like, just put away your weights at the gym. Like, nobody's here to be your mom and clean up after you. And you're not just going to make the janitors and the people that work here clean up after you. So in reality, clean your shit. At this point, towards the end of the back workout, forearms are starting to give a little bit. You don't want your forearms giving out before your back gives out, right? In reality, I could do probably any bicep movement that I want and get a nasty pump going just because I haven't been to the gym in a few days. But we're gonna start with hammer curls, probably one of my favorite bicep workouts. Oh. 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 Ah. Oh. Ah. Ah. Oh. Ah. Oh. Oh. I'm not going to be doing too much strength work for the biceps in particular, just because I'm already pretty fatigued. I think we're just going to be chasing a pump at this point, because 35s right there, like, those didn't even feel the lightest. But you know, you can't expect your biceps to be that strong after really hitting back. Any pulling motion, like for your lats, you're going to be using your biceps. So when we're doing rows or when we're doing pull downs, still hitting biceps. That's just like a secondary muscle that's being forced to work when you're pulling. You know, it's the same for when you're hitting chest. The secondary muscle group that you're going to be working is automatically triceps. So for this bicep workout, it's going to be anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes of supersets. Not entirely sure what movements we're going to be doing. Obviously, we're going to be doing mainly curls. It's one of the only things you can do for your biceps is do a curl. It's just how you decide to do the curl. I like dumbbells a lot more than I like cables. But we'll also probably end up doing some barbell curls, I would imagine. Maybe some single arm preachers. Possibly some concentration curls, possibly some dinner plates. A lot of possibilities. One thing for certain, we're going to be getting a gnarly bicep pump going. Oh. 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 Ah. I already know I'm going to be cramping later tonight. Right here, this muscle. Guarantee you it ends up cramping on me later tonight. Almost for certain. So when you're doing hammer strength, right, like that, you're working on the width of your bicep. And then when you supinate your palms and you pull up, it's more about your peak rather than the width of your bicep. I think I'm probably 3 more supersets, straight bar curls, dinner plates. All right. I need to go a little bit lighter on those. The thing that's really hard about doing dinner plates is that you want to give your biceps a rest, but you can't because you're always in the contraction. And when you're doing both of these, you don't have to, just something I do or I like to think about is like tucking my elbows into my lats. And that's where I'm pulling from. Can't even move my arms. That's it. All right, that's the workout. Time to sauna and steam room. Peace, boys.